Previously on Starting Over, Casey still couldn't move past the years of sexual abuse she endured as a child.
Sex with my partner is sometimes... I don't know if I'm ready for this.
My childhood was very rough. Anything that you could have think of happened to me while I was in those foster homes.
Michael and Jacqueline agreed to take a 90-day timeout in their relationship before deciding their future.
If at the end of this period you discover this is not who you want, you discover that's not who you want, you've done it in a loving and sacred way.
I can be the best man that I can, and Jacqueline can be the best woman she can for the relationship without maybe a little time to really discover who we are.
And Troy struggled to find his inner voice when he was called up to the Board of Review.
When Tarzan was getting ready to really step into his power, do you know what Tarzan used to do?
Pound on his chest.
Come on, Tarzan. Come on, come on, come on. Here we go.
One house.
I need a second chance.
Women from all walks of life. Striving. Bonding. Reinventing themselves.
This house changed my life.
Starting over. Life has never been this real.
Baby, come on. Let's stand with you. Come on, let's stand with him. Let's stand with him. Let's stand with him. We are standing with you and for you to claim your voice and your power. Let's go. Let's get it.
Do you need us to do it all together once with you? Yes. Would that support you?
That would be
Then
great.
ask for it. Ask for it.
Please do it with me.
All right, here we go. Ready?
One, two, three.
When I'm asked to do the Tarzan thing, that took all I had to get what I did have out. I'm amazed that it's in me. I really came here not really expecting to pour this much of myself into this, but it is amazing. I wish everyone could go through this.
How did that feel, Troy?
Considering I couldn't even speak in public before, it's night and day.
Yeah. You think?
So, Troy, until this moment, what you have not been doing well is claiming that man within you. How would you grade yourself?
I would give myself a B+.
Justify it, please.
I know I have work to do. I know I've got to claim the rest of this voice. I'm going to work on it. I'm never giving up.
Miss Cheryl, should Mr. Troy come back or stay home?
Come back. Well, I'll ask you, what percentage of you is here for you, and what percentage of you is here for Cheryl?
When I showed up, it was only 10% for me. I think I'm at about 60 right now.
Quit carrying your wife's weight around. Before I grade you, you want to give it another shot?
I have something to offer when
Yes.
giving it another shot.
Yes.
The sound A, not that that's what you're going to get or anything like that, but the sound A is a very easy vowel to project.
I think I deserve a...
Well,
Are you laughing because he thinks he deserves one?
Yeah, well, both. It's like, isn't that cute?
Since you asked for it. I'm giving Troy an A- instead of an A. Because yes, he is doing wonderful work, but there's still just a little room for improvement. Are you willing to claim 100% for you?
Yes, I am.
Excellent, then you'll get an A-. Have a seat.
Hold on.
Mr. Michael, your goal here in the Starting Over house has been loving beneath the surface. But why are you here?
When I first got my goal, when we first came to the Starting Over house, I thought it had to do about us, but I needed to learn to love beneath the surface of myself. And I know my relationship with my mom hasn't been the greatest, and I've been holding some hurtful feelings for a very long time. I don't know if you guys all know this, but I called her just to tell her that I loved her And by doing that, I got out of my own way, and I could hear happiness in her voice that I've been not letting myself hear for 14 years. I've come to realize that my mom was doing the best that she could.
On a scale of A to C, how would you grade yourself?
Well, the old Mike would have given himself a B, but the new Mike's given himself an A.
Oh, really?
Because I think that I would have in the past given myself a B, thinking that there's something I could have done better, something I'm still not doing, and just not allowing myself to really have my feelings. And I'm gonna have my feelings. I deserve an A.
You deserve an A. Have you earned it?
I've earned an A.
Michael has just really stood up for himself and taken a stand and become his own person, separate from me. I just can't believe he's come so far.
So let's receive some honest feedback from your housemates.
I've seen him be incredibly strong, even though by letting your defenses down and you're taking it a little easier on yourself.
I was really proud of you when you spoke your mind at the Board of Review last time, even though it was something that might have been hard for Jacqueline to hear. I think that was you separating the codependency.
Since we walked in the door, I have seen a new person. I've seen an individual, and you've held nothing back.
So, Miss Jacqueline, should Mr. Michael come back or stay home?
Come back.
So I want to offer you just one principle to take out of this room with you. Accountability to yourself. And that begins with an A.
Thank you, Young.
You may have a seat.
Miss Casey.
One more.
Miss Casey, your goal here in the Starting Over House has been to find common ground. But why are you here?
I am here to stop letting the fear and anger control my life. I feel I'm still angry for what I went through.
And what do you do with that anger?
I think that because I don't want pain or any anger, that I lessen myself. Being able to face the physical abuse was really hard for me.
Is it physical abuse or sexual abuse?
Sexual abuse.
Okay. And Miss Jacqueline, if you could be so loving and kind as to share with Miss Casey something she still needs to work on.
Casey, I don't think you believe in yourself enough.
I think that you could probably reach out a little bit more for help. I see you suffering sometimes, and I feel maybe you isolate yourself a little bit still.
Is everything you're still holding on from the past? I don't know how you're gonna release it or what you need to do, but the past is still in you.
Mr. Simon, should Miss Casey come back or stay home?
Come back.
This is hard for me. Very, very hard for me. Although you've gone through the steps and you've done the work, Casey, you haven't opened up. And I'm going to send you home.
Completely different.
Coming tomorrow.
As a woman who's experienced physical and sexual abuse, I've learned one very important thing, that you have to take responsibility for your own healing. Very often I say to women, tell your story, because your story will heal you, and your story will heal somebody else. You haven't told your story yet, Miss Casey. You keep it locked up, and it keeps you locked up. Mm-hmm. Keeps your heart locked up. Yes. You've kind of got it guarded in a little box, not really sharing it for fear that you can't live through it, but you already have. And you haven't given yourself credit. 6 out of 10 girls and women between the ages of 18 months and 60 years old are brutalized, raped, some killed. 6 out of 10. Millions didn't make it through, Miss Casey. You made it through. That means there's a purpose for what you've experienced. You're a mother. You got a little girl. What can you give her from your broken, damaged, wounded heart? And the part of your heart, your soul, your spirit that's been locked up in pain is not available for Amira. And you know what, Miss Casey? That's the part of you that you have to give her so that she can connect to her daddy. That part of you that is angry at those people, those men who stole your innocence, your beauty, your divinity, your sacredness, those men and the pain they caused you is what you have locked up that you can't give to your daughter.
She still has a lot of soul searching to do, trying to unravel that confusion within herself. Only she knows what's really going on.
You are responsible for your own healing, Miss Casey. Nobody else. I'm not going to dishonor your presence by giving you a grade. Here's your grade. It's going to be what you make it. I want to know what you're going to do to open your heart to Amira, to your husband, to yourself when you walk out of this door. I want to know. And if you want to go to the next level, by the time you get back here, you need to have something to put on this card. That's what you give, that's what you get.
Every woman that enters a starting over house has a story, and we encourage her to tell it. Unfortunately, Miss Casey has decided not to share the story of her painful past with anyone. Today, I'm encouraging her to tell her story because her story will heal her and lead her to the help that she needs.
So with that, this board review is complete. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on your last day in the starting over house.
Miss Casey, would you please join me out by the pool?
I feel bad for Casey.
I know, I want to go see her.
And that's the thing, you're in a position that you've been through something.
We've never talked about that because she's been so very vague. I never brought it up with her. I'm just kind of afraid, and I know like how uncomfortable it can be to talk about it, so.
Yeah.
She'll bring it up kind of, but it still kind of seems like it's a place where she doesn't want to go.
Sit here, my love. Although you've gone through the steps and you've done the work, Casey, you haven't opened up. And I'm going to send you home.
Miss Casey has a story that gives an insight to who she is, but she hasn't been willing to tell that story, and as a result, her healing has been slow and difficult.
The reason why I didn't tell my story is because I don't want people to take pity on me.
Have you received any pity in this house at all?
No.
Yeah. See, you think telling your story is for other people. It's not for other people, Casey. It's for you.
When I came here, I thought it was my marriage and the problems we had in our marriage. And since I've been here, now that I know that it's my past that I haven't let heal me. I never knew that.
I don't want you to hear that you've done anything wrong. But what I'm saying is, even throughout this process of being here, you've allowed a piece of you to remain closed. That piece of your heart, where that pain, that hurt, that anger is. You've allowed it to stay closed. And what I want you to know is you can't do it alone. Left to your own devices, you will self-destruct. You've got to get help. And I want you to take responsibility for getting that help. I don't want you to be a master at suppressing toxicity. So you can put an A on here. What? Come on, come here, come here, come on, come on. Come on, tell me. What? Come on, sweetie, come on. A lesser woman would not have survived it, Casey. A lesser woman would not have survived it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're gonna start releasing that stuff and opening that heart, leading from the heart, living from the heart. Oh, I can hardly wait to see the good that's gonna come out of this. I know that Mr. Simon loves his wife dearly, but for her sake, he must allow her to fight through this one for herself.
I need to cleanse myself of my past. I think everybody is aware of the physical and sexual abuse that I went through, but I know that no one knows the fear that it has caused in my life. Going through the foster homes, not being fed, being molested by the men in the foster homes that were supposed to care for me and love me, having to return sexual favors for food and treats, not being able to read or write for almost the first 15 years of my life. In the foster homes, having her abuse me, hit me, burn me, physically attack me, cut my hair off so nobody would adopt me, hide me. Those are parts of my story that I haven't told. And I'm releasing it so I can let go of my past. Yeah.
What kind of great
Feeling better?
Oh, look
Right.
at you.
You know, if you ever need to tell your story to anybody, we're here for it.
Oh, thank you. I feel different. I feel good. I feel lighter.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. I need you to give yourself an A.
I did.
You did. Good.
I did.
How wonderful.
I'm so happy for you.
Definitely. Roomy.
Get out of bed. Waking up this morning is really bittersweet. I'm feeling sad because I have to leave all of my housemates, and I'm feeling excited too because, you know, we get to try out all of these new tools that we've got here in the real world and really put them to work.
We need to just make sure we keep in touch.
Of course. I'm gonna miss this place.
I'm gonna miss everybody here.
I am really sad. I'm doing my best to hold in my feelings. It's sad to leave everybody.
If Jacqueline and I end up going our own ways, I know I'm gonna be okay. I know I would feel sadness because we have shared something that's been really special to me, but I know I'd have to move on.
This, you want a pair of my tidies to remember me by?
Only if they're
Soiled?
Good morning.
Morning.
How
Morning,
you living?
everyone.
Okay. So when you came in, you graded the health of your relationship. So this was the grade that you gave. I want you to open that, and I want you to reveal to your partner the grade that you gave coming in and why you gave that grade at that time.
It was a 4. I thought I had 1 foot out the door, but I gave a 4, so I probably had more than my foot out the door.
I gave us a 5 because I thought it could go either way.
I gave us a 2 because we were just a few steps away from it never working. It wasn't going anywhere.
I gave us a 4 because I know like I was lacking the confidence in our relationship, and I knew that what we were currently doing wasn't working too well.
Gave us a 5 because we're doing just enough to be in the middle. We're average.
I thought that our relationship was at a 3. And I realized that it wasn't about our relationship. This 3 was where I am.
I gave us a 7 because I thought that we had been working for 11 years together and that we had really been diligently trying.
I'm just a little surprised by that. I feel like it's a little high. I know how much he complained and how lonely he has told me that he was, and no intimacy, no sex. He's was not a happy man. My rating, it's a pretty accurate depiction when we got here.
And if during that 90 days you wake up to the fact that this relationship may not be in your highest and greatest good, what do you do?
I may not stay in this relationship with Jacqueline.
I gave our relationship a 3.5, because I just feel like we were both dealing with a lot of unhappiness and self-loathing, but we were projecting it on each other, and it was just damaging everything that was supposed to be good in our marriage.
So here we are today, having made many shifts and changes. Now look at the health of your relationship today.
Iyanla and I had the couples re-rate the state of their relationship today versus when they first entered the starting over house. Well, let's see how much their relationships have improved.
I gave us a 9. I think nobody's perfect in problem solving. I think there's always work.
I went from a 4 to a 7.8. I was somewhere between 7.5 and 8, so I went 7.8. I think that it's me more than you. That it's going to take me to get it up higher, and I'm willing to work on that.
Gave it a 9 because our relationship's a reflection of me, and I feel like I'm at a 9.
I gave it a 6, and I don't think that's a bad number. I was a 2. Our relationship can't really be a relationship until, I work on myself.
Gave us a 10.
Yeah.
That's for our honesty, our effort, and I'm able to hold you and sincerely mean it now.
I gave us an 8 because I have a lot of growing to do, but I really feel like we have a strong relationship, and once I work on myself, we'll be able to get it up to a 10.
Excellent.
We went up a point. That gave us an 8. I know that I have to stay on me about defenseless living with you.
And I gave us a 7. I feel like a lot of progress has been made, and there's still some work to do, definitely.
So here we are. Why don't we go to the plasma?
Your 5 rules of engagement, each one is a pillar in your foundation. I just want to do a little ego check, because the only thing that can derail you in this process really is the ego. Mr. Choi, do you know what your very special tool is? Could you just give me just a little yodel?
Yeah.
I just want to see, Mr. Choi. I just want to make sure that the ego is not running the game here. Come on, just a little yodel. Just a little yodel.
Do you need support, Troy?
Yeah, I do need support.
Okay, who do you want to help you? Ask for support. Ask for somebody.
I think Lou has it in him.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Losing my support system is scary. When you don't have that and you have to rely 100% on yourself, it's a lot scarier. That's a big fear of mine.
Gentlemen with the Yanla, ladies with me.
So we're going right out here, gentlemen. So today is your last day in the starting over house, yeah? So let me ask you, what is your greatest fear about going home?
When I get blocked, when I get angry and get into that funky zone.
Mr. Lou, going home, what's your greatest fear?
Just forgetting, not keeping it clear. I'm gonna take lots of little mementos and I'm gonna put them around the house.
You've got some of them on your arm.
Yeah, and these will be proudly displayed. Hell, I may just keep them on.
What is your greatest fear as you leave the starting over house?
I'm afraid that old patterns will start.
And they're going to. Imagine a seedling. What do you have to do right when a seedling comes up and it's really, 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 really vulnerable? What do you have to do?
Water it.
You have to water it. What else?
Give it sunshine.
Give it sunshine. What else?
Protect it.
Protect it. Yeah. So one of the things you must do is protect what happened to you here in the starting over house.
Tell me, Mr. Lou, what was your lowest moment in the house?
Waking up the day after the car. I will not go inside this car, this physical car with this physical nastiness, and touch it with my hands.
They need to clean this car or they need to pack their bags.
It was the first time ever that I didn't have something to say, some way to explain it, some way to get through it by talking.
Mr. Simon, your lowest moment.
When y'all put me on blast.
Translate, put me on blast. I'm old, I don't have any young children, okay? Put me on blast, translate.
When you put my business out there.
So what was your upset about? It wasn't about the process, Simon. It was about you not being able to get Casey to do what you wanted her to do. We just cracked the shell and the stuff was seeping through, yeah. Because you could have really decked somebody in that moment. That's what it felt like to me.
What was your lowest?
The night of board review, when,
Tell me.
I just really feeling like I just wanted to pack my bags and go. I don't feel like anyone wants me to be here, including you. Do you know how hard it was for me to stand in there and say, okay, I'm gonna let you go? That's the last thing I wanted. I just realized, before that board of review, I knew I was in a safe place. And after that, I felt like I was so alone, and I just went back to that moment before the board of review, just knowing that this is a safe place. And if I'm gonna be exposed anywhere, this is the best place to do it.
Jennifer.
It was the first board of review. Just it was a very vulnerable place for me to see, what happened with you and to see Louie get to see, and all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, there's no hiding behind my crap anymore.
It's just getting rid of the junk. Getting rid of the things that are stopping me.
Mr. Troy, your greatest triumph.
Last night when I found my voice.
Yes. And you're not sad anymore.
No.
I remember that first day, you were sitting to my right, and the sadness was just overwhelming. What's been the toughest time in your relationship, Mr. Troy?
A year we separated after I got out of the service. That was the hardest.
How so?
She took my son, moved in with another guy. That just hurt. Right there.
Let that go, bro. Let it go. Let it go.
You blew me away with that sadness thing. I don't know where I was in my head.
Well, you got to release some tears, and that was really good. Mr. Michael, your greatest triumph?
It would have to be our meeting when I took the key and unlocked those handcuffs.
Talk to me. Ooh.
I'm willing to walk away from you. If this is how I have to live. I want you to forgive me for what I did and not hold me guilty. And take these off.
You really are the only one who has the option to walk away. They don't have that option.
Like we talked about yesterday, still having a committed relationship, but we're gonna have a little bit of a timeout.
Mike and I are taking a 90-day timeout, so there's going to be a lot of things that we don't do together. So he's going to go out with his friends and drink, and I think that's going to be one of my triggers for sure.
And you have to trust yourself that you will respond the right way to anything that he does. In other words, if he were to do anything that were to hurt you or upset you or be unacceptable, you have to trust yourself enough to know that you wouldn't allow it in your life anymore.
Like Iyanla told me, I can't lose, I can't fail. I mean, even if in the end we decide that it's, I'm not for him, he's not for me, it's still okay because at least I know who I am and I can be the best person I can be.
So tell me your greatest moment in the starting over house, your most triumphant moment.
I think one of the first ones that I realized was out on the obstacle course. Sorry, I'm worrying about my poor leg. Ew, oh God, that's cutting my leg. When I realized that I was so darn tough, I was hurting and I couldn't ask for help.
You never asked for help, and you never asked me to stop the clock. So what does that tell me? What does that tell you about you? Don't look at him.
But I can't ask for help.
Yes. So how often do you push through the pain, Cheryl?
All the time. Yeah, that one was huge for me.
Okay.
I feel it was probably last night.
Tell me how.
Really realizing that I hadn't done everything I could to let go of the past and what I needed to do. I kind of felt like some weight was lifted off of my shoulders. I feel more relaxed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Well, as I said to you before, once I'm your coach, I'm always your coach. This is a lifelong commitment that I've made to each of you. And anytime that you want support, you just let me know.
It has been my honor to serve you. I'm glad that I was the one to work with the men. I've done enough work with women. They're trouble, you know. Be careful. Eve got everybody thrown out the garden. No. It has been my honor to serve you. I want to offer you again what a valuable contribution you are to the planet, Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Thank you for showing up here.
I'm getting sad walking around this house. And
I know.
I just remember walking in that door, and then we just started looking around, and then we came outside, and you're the first person I saw when we looked down. You know what, Mike and I were just saying, that it feels like we're getting to know each other all over again. Like, it feels like the beginning of a relationship, because it's just like we don't know what to expect.
We have phone numbers and emails and addresses, so we have no excuse.
No, use them.
Don't get mad if I give you guys a call more than once a month.
Oh, no, dude.
I'm all good.
Be like, Mike, get it together, man. Listen, I'm living here, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm carrying you, dog. Yeah, well, talk to yourself a little bit.
Hello?
Daddy?
Yes?
Can you be back soon?
Yeah, we'll see you later on today, after you go to SeaWorld. Did you want to go to SeaWorld with them, or do you want to see us?
I want to stay with you, Daddy.
You want to see us?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fix my abandonment toward Casey emotionally, and for my daughter, I see a lot of the holes that I had before, and I know where to fill them in now.
You wore that the first day coming in, didn't you?
I figured it's appropriate to wear it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Today, I'm leaving the starting over house much more confident in the fact that I'm really in charge of where I go from here, that it's not up to Lou, it's not his problem. I'm hoping that I have the tools and the confidence now to be a better wife and mom.
Remember packing our mobility bags in the Air Force?
Yeah.
How much crap we had to get in those little green bags?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed impossible when you started. Starting over has changed my life beyond where I thought I could ever go. I didn't know it was in me. I didn't know it could come out of me that easy. Me and Cheryl, I think we have everything it takes. I think we've always had it.
I can't believe the experience that we've just had in this house. It is amazing what has just happened. And in the end, if it doesn't work out with Michael and I, at least I know that I'm myself and I'm being the best person I know how to be.
This Life Coach Tip of the Week is brought to you by Airwick.
Often we wind up confusing physical intimacy with emotional intimacy. Well, true intimacy is the act of allowing yourself to be open, vulnerable, and honest with your partner.
Rhonda said today and tomorrow are going to be like the worst day of our lives.
Well, letting go of what we got, yeah, that's hard. We don't want to lose touch with you guys.
We're not I just know this experience is like going to be hard to walk away from.
So you thought you were going to get out of that boardroom and never be asked to do it again?
No, I figured I'll be doing it for the rest of my life now.
But you didn't know she was going to ask you to do it again today.
And then, it's our last day together, and I think we all realize at this point how much we all mean to each other. I don't think any one of those people are gonna forget this.
Come on, Simon, you need one. You need one.
I hugged you. You don't get another one. I'm just kidding. Give me a hug. Thank you, Troy.
So, Cheryl and Troy, your ride is here. I'm giving you this plant to represent your relationship. It definitely needs a lot of love, and it needs to feel safe and protected as it grows. When you come back to the starting over house, if you choose to, you're bringing the plant back. Because to me, this is a metaphor of your relationship. How well you take care of this plant is how well you've been taking care of each other.
I want to make this marriage work. I have to really start working on connecting with myself. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to start enjoying our lives together and doing the steps that are required to communicate, cooperate, trust, respect, and be intimate.
I have a parting gift for you. New life. New life. This plant represents the new life that both of you are seeking as individuals and hopefully as a couple. I don't know if you're coming back here as a couple, but if you nurture these plants and if you nurture yourself in the same way, you will certainly come back here as two whole individuals. What I would love to do is take these two plants and put them in one pot, and then they'll have little baby plants, which will represent you. Good luck.
Thank you, Yama.
Mr. Michael.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Dr. Sam.
You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Your chariot's waiting.
Bye.
Jacqueline and I are in uncharted waters. This is so different for us. It's so different for me. I know that if we just stay the process and do the things that we've come here and learned, we can definitely make this relationship a good one, and I foresee ourselves having a happy ending.
What is this?
It's a plant.
It's a plant. And so treat the plant as your relationship. And this will give me a little indication how well you've been taking care of each other. How good the plant looks.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Passion. Without your passion, you can't lead, Boo.
Take good care of each other, okay?
Our future looks bright. So bright I need a welding helmet. I feel positive and hopeful and like there is nothing to worry about other than worry itself. And we've got work ahead, but we're up to the task.
New life.
This plant represents the new life in your marriage. So I'll give it to you since the mommy gets to hold the baby first. Know that if you're not careful, you can accidentally kill this. I don't know if you're gonna make it. My hope is that you do. My prayer is that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Easy. Simon, take care of yourself, okay? Use everything you got. Okay?
All right.
Do your work.
Love you guys.
See you soon. Take care.
I'm gonna miss everybody, and I am sad that I am leaving in a way, but I'm also happy because I can't wait to use the tools that I've learned outside of the Starting Over house. I feel hopeful, and I know that I'm about to start a life that I've never ever had before, and that feels really good.
Looks like we got a little cleaning to do in here.
Well, they definitely didn't clean up after themselves.
No.
They were too busy learning and growing.
The next time we'll be coming through that front door is we will be ushering 6 new women into the
I'm going
Starting
to miss
Over
the men.
house.
I'm going to miss the men.
Really?
It was really different to have the men here and to have the energy and the dynamics of those couples.
Yes.
So the women will get an opportunity to sit in the midst of the love, the challenges, the information that's here.
What I'm really excited about is that this house has already been lived in and loved in. Lived in and loved in.
I guess the question is, how much love can you stand?
I get. We'll soon find
We'll
out.
find out very soon. Come on, ladies.
How much love can you stand?
Next on Starting Over, sparks fly when 6 new women move in.
I would like to personally greet you to the Starting Over house.
Bitch, shut up! She just was like the Tasmanian devil.
Powerful stories are revealed.
He ended tracking her flight on the computer. The first plane hit
the towers,
and it just disappeared.
And one woman gets in trouble on her first day.
Are you saying that you didn't want to take charge?
No. Liar, liar, pants on fire. This woman is not telling the truth.